Granblue Fantasy Versus, the latest game from Arc System Works. It has an amazing visual style as Arc Systems has gotten used to, but gameplay-wise, is it the game we want, or is it the game we deserve? Earlier this week, we looked at the announcement of Granblue Fantasy Versus. We even went a little bit into the Granblue Fantasy universe, where it came from, and along with the announcement, the game director spoke to Famitsu, who shared some further information on the game. Now, let me just put this out there. This is not the game you're expecting. This is not the game any of us was expecting from Arc System Works. Is that a good thing? Well, that's what this video is about. So Famitsu did the interview, Gematsu translated some tidbits, and we're gonna go one by one and tell you, some details about this game. The first tidbit, we chose Arc System Works because their style with franchises like Guilty Gear and BlazBlue was a good fit with Granblue Fantasy. And look at the trailer, you just gotta agree, it looks fantastic, it's great. Yes, so far so good. Moving on, since we don't want to alienate fighting game beginners and those who aren't accustomed to games, it won't be a combo-filled game. But there are combos in the trailer. You see a jump in attack followed by a combo, you see some combos here and there. So what does this mean that it won't be a combo-filled game? Does this mean that you actually can't really extend much further than what they're showing in the trailer? Is this purely an auto combo game? Maybe there's only one attack button. You can't link lights into mediums into heavies like you usually do with the Arc System Works games. I guess it could just be auto combos. And here's something that further strengthens this theory. Next point, in order for users who have only played the smartphone game to be able to enjoy the game, all of the special moves can be unleashed with the press of a single button. You think about it and it makes sense, right? Granblue became huge in smartphones, in the mobile market. And ever since its announcement, I've been keeping my eye on the ground about Granblue Fantasy, and my understanding is this game makes a ton of money. That's why they have their own con. That's why they have Arc System Works and Platinum Games, each working on a different Granblue Fantasy game. That takes some money, and let me tell you where that money comes from: the mobile app. So in order to appease the mobile users, we're gonna get a fighting game from Arc System Works that has one button specials and pretty much no combos. I'd like to go back to the first point where they said we chose Arc System Works because of their style with franchises like Guilty Gear and BlazBlue. They did not pick Arc System Works for their fighting systems, they picked them for their visual styles. Gameplay? This will not be an Arc Systems game. At least it doesn't sound like it's gonna be, according to what I'm reading. But don't worry, for skilled players on the other hand, we're making sure the game has action and strategic depth. We're utilizing the know-how of Arc System Works so you can expect something good. So Arc System Works does get some input on gameplay. You just gotta make it work without combos and single button specials. No big deal, right? Arc Systems, good luck with that. I would love to know where the strategic depth is coming from. Obviously, I trust ArcSys to make it work, even if it's a simplified game like this. And this doesn't mean that I'm not gonna play the game or cover it. I'm definitely still very, very much curious to see how Arc Systems is gonna solve this. How are they gonna make a fighting game tailored for smartphone users? Even if I don't like the game, I must know. I have to know the answer. I have to play this to know. And we'll see if the next tidbits give us some more information on this strategic depth. I'd love to know more. The game speed is moderate and the combos are also very simple. This kind of reinforces what we talked about already. And as far as game speed, I did notice that it was slightly slower, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Currently, the game system is such that difficult elements like juggling and aerials can only be done in very limited situations. Haha! So there are combos. There is juggling, there are aerials. It's just not a combo-filled game, according to them. This is sort of contradicting. The game is not filled with combos, but there are combos, so it's... Make up your mind. Abilities and arts from the original game are included as skills. For example, Lancelot's Blade Impulse appears as a special move, and Vice Flugel is activated as an art with a cutscene. Now, I'm watching the Granblue Fantasy anime right now. I'm on episode 8 or 9 out of 12. I still don't know who Lancelot or Vice are, but there's a pretty good chance that the anime doesn't cover nearly enough that the mobile game covers, because the mobile game has been going on for, 4 years, I think? And the anime's got 12 episodes, so it's not gonna cover everything. But apparently you're not gonna need to watch the anime. I'm watching it because I want to cover the game. I want to have some more insight into this universe as I cover it, but the game is also gonna have a story mode that's gonna take us through some of the events of the mobile game, so I'm assuming it's gonna introduce new people into that world. So You don't need to watch anything, you can just play it. Gran's ability, Rage, gradually raises his attack power. Catalina's Light Wall gives her super armor effect, so she can try to counter. This is very good news, because right now, our expectations are... I don't know, they're so low I can't see them anymore. But even though the game seems to be simple, it looks like each character has its uniqueness. One of the big flaws of anime games in general is that they make the roster big, but all the characters play the same. This is not the case with Arc System Works. And I'm glad that even though this game is being pushed to be this sort of casual thing, Arc System Works is still giving each character their unique abilities and their unique playstyle. Effects themed after triple attack, HP recovery, and attribute attack up also exist. So you will have buffs, essentially. Very different types of buffs, and maybe this is where the strategic depth comes for skilled players, as they put it. Instead of a focus on combos, it's a focus on buffing your character and dealing the most damage. I don't know. While we showed off characters with standard abilities in our initial announcement, in the future we will announce characters with more in-your-face abilities. The way I interpret this is that the characters they announced so far, they're kind of standard and they each have their own uniqueness, but you know, nothing that's too big of a deal. In the future, they'll announce some more gimmick characters. Some characters whose abilities are just like crazier. They're not as combo filled or whatever. We also want to release additional characters as downloadable content. So if you like the game, there will be DLC afterwards. Okay. Gran is essentially made like to be as he was in the anime. He doesn't have a job or class. JRPGs call classes jobs a lot of the time. And fights alongside Lydia and Vern. So he summons primal beasts for his special moves. That's something that we also saw in the trailer. They summon Bahamut, I think. And in the intro you see Lydia and Vern leaving the stage as he takes the fight himself. But apparently he can also call them for special moves. Alright. The story mode is a major focus. It is an original story for those who haven't played the smartphone game, but users who play the events of the smartphone game will also be able to get more enjoyment out of it, because they're not playing a smartphone game. We also want people who don't like winning or losing to be able to play. So we're thinking about a way for people to play in that regard. We're making a fighting game for people who don't like winning or losing. What is this? There is online support, player matching and ranked matching are planned. That is great news. Thank you so much. An arcade release is under consideration. Both Cygames and Arc System Works want to make it happen. Development is currently about 60% complete. The fundamental components are nearly complete. And from here, we're putting our focus on raising the quality. That's really good news. They must have kept this in the oven for a really long time and kept a good lid on it. I haven't seen any leaks that Arc Systems was making a game like this at all, and they've been working on it pretty much till completion, so we might see a release date early next year. And this next point applies to both Granblue Fantasy Relink and Granblue Fantasy Versus. Relink is the Platinum Games game, and Versus is the Arc Systems game. We would also like to release for Steam, PC. We already have some titles for PS4 that are being developed in-house, such as the tentatively titled Project Awakening, and as a company we will certainly continue to put our strength into console. Another Granblue game called Project Awakening. Over the course of a week I went from not knowing anything about Granblue Fantasy to learning that it is just huge. Where did this come from? Also, they want to bring stuff to PC, so that's good. I hope it makes it. Even if anime games are usually more popular on PS4, or even if for longevity, I always recommend people to buy these games for PS4 because the multiplayer is gonna live longer. But if you also put it out on PC, then people who don't own a PlayStation can also enjoy it. So overall, that's just good. I hope it makes it. So, is Granblue Fantasy Versus the game you were expecting? Yeah, I wasn't expecting that either. That said, I remain curious. I want to see how they're gonna solve this. I want to see how a fighting game tailored for smartphone users feels, plays, especially coming from Arc System Works. I want to see how they tackle this challenge because it is a pretty big challenge to tackle. But that's my opinion. I want to know yours. Let me know in the comments down below. What do you think of this? And while you're down there, leave me a like. I haven't asked for likes in a while, so leave me a like on this one, okay? Don't ask for this all the time. And if you like what I do on this channel, you're gonna love what we do behind the scenes. Join us on Discord, whether you're a premium member or not, because I just unlocked all the premium content that we did for TGN Anime. That's right, I'm still doing premium content now on Globku, but everything we did back then on TGN Anime, it's now unlocked, everyone can watch it. Just join us on Discord and grab those links. I will of course continue to do premium content, and if you want to watch the newest stuff, make sure to become a premium member, and that will unlock more channels on the Discord channel. But as always, thank you very much for watching. My name's Globku, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.